is that I am recording this class. By having this recording, essentially, it makes it really simple. When the class is over, if you would like, just let me know that you would like a recording of it, and I will email that class out to you. Now, Carolyn, you had attempted to join our class earlier today when we were going over the online store. So I just want you to know that I took the liberty of emailing you a copy of that class. Okay? All right, so let's get started.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and get started with this class, and this is the beginner's class. Now, the beginner's class assumes that you have already gotten your data entry in, meaning we assume you've got clients in there. We assume you have inventory in there. We assume that you have already put in all of your operators and your groups and services. This class is going to focus on three main things: appointments, processing sales, and setting up commissions, okay? Those are the three main things it's going to focus on. But before we get there, because this is a beginner's class, we are going to touch on two really small items. They're important, but we're going to go to setup. And then from setup, we're going to go to configuration. And then from configuration, we're going to go to sales register. Setup, configuration, sales register.
Can we just ask you a quick question? I'm
ahead.
so sorry to interrupt.
No, that's fine.
We were told to take this class because what we're trying to figure out is sending out messages, appointments to people who have like
appointments?
Who already have
confirmations.
Correct. Like you haven't been here in, like you had an appointment and we haven't seen you in 3 months, or it's been 3 months since, right. So what class should we have signed up for?
That's the Darcy marketing class. Yeah, that's the class for this one here, Darcy and marketing. And let me just jump into the internet here and go to our website. And let's take a look here. Support training classes. And let me just take a peek. All right, select a choice. All right, so Darcy Marketing was the class that was offered at 11:30 this morning Eastern Time, 8:30 Pacific. That was the first class we had today. Then we had the online booking retail class at 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Pacific. And right now, we're in the beginner's class. So
we actually were signed up for that 11:30 one.
You were signed up for the Darcy Marketing class?
And then we got a link, we were sent the link to this class. So we were signed up for that one, and then
Yeah, okay. Don't know what happened there. I've got some good news for you, though.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and, obviously, of course, you could sign up for the next class that we're having on Darcy Marketing, which is April 19th, but you may not want to wait that long, and I totally get it. But I want you to see this. I'm going to go to support, and I'm going to go to my training videos, and under training videos, come on.
Gotta see this.
Why are we taking so long? Bear with me. Maybe because we've got so many people dialed in, it's just going a little bit slow, but in the training videos section, hopefully it'll pop up for me soon. In the training videos section, there are classes like the Darcy Marketing class, like the beginner's class. All 4 of the classes that we offer have been recorded. And so you could actually watch the Darcy Marketing class at your convenience. You can also sign up for it on the 19th so that you're attending a live class like this one. But if you would like to see and hear the actual class without it being live, of course, you can certainly watch the video online.
Okay, but it would be the marketing under training.
Darcy Marketing. That's right.
Oh.
That's the one that's going to cover those types of things. Now, every class is, and here we go. Finally, it came up. My goodness. So we've got our recorded classes here. There's the Transcend Beginners class, which is what we're doing right now. The online booking retail class, which we did a little bit earlier. And then there's the Darcy Marketing class here. Now, I want you to understand, every class is a little bit different because they're live. And this class, therefore, may be a little bit different. So you may watch this class and say, it didn't give me everything I needed. And that's fine, because training and technical support are always free during regular business hours. So you can certainly call us with any questions that didn't get answered by this, and we'll handle them at the time that you call. Or you can go to live chat, of course, and ask us an instant question here. Calling our 800 number usually gets an answer. Our average hold time is 9 minutes. The live chat, our average hold time is 15 seconds. So that's something that you may consider. Watch the class and then ask any additional questions you might have, or sign up for that live class on the 19th. Or like I said, after you do this, you could even schedule some time with someone like me. And just, you could call the 800 number, you could go to extension 101, her name is Jesseline, and you could say, you know what, I need 20 more minutes of Matt's time regarding Darcy, because I watched the class or I took the class and didn't get everything I needed, and I've got some questions. And she'll book that time so that you don't have to wait necessarily for the 19th or for whenever that next class is, okay?
Okay. Thank you so very much. And we're
My
sorry
pleasure.
for the interruption. Okay.
That's not a
Bye-bye.
problem. Bye-bye. Uh-huh. Okay, so continuing on, again, we're talking about the beginner's class here. So we're going to start with 2 small items before we get to our appointment book. And that is setup, configuration, general, not general, sales register, setup, configuration, sales register. And we're going to select sales tax rates. And this is where we're going to be putting in our sales tax. So retail tax rate, most places don't have service tax rates, but if you do, put it in, etc. So by doing that, when you sell a product in your point of sale, you're going to be set. Carolyn, do I still have you on the line with me?
Yes.
Okay, terrific. Aislinn, do I still have you on the line with me? Yeah, I think they dropped off. Okay, all right. Well, Carolyn, it might just be you and me, but either way, let's continue. Next, we're going to go to Setup, Configuration, Sales Register, and the next thing, rather than sales tax rates, we're going to go to Credit Cards Accepted. Click on that. Now, the reason we're doing this, even if you are processing credit cards through a separate service, in other words, you're not using ours, that's fine. Simply type in the types of credit cards that you accept. Visa, enter. MasterCard, enter. American Express, enter. Discover, enter, etc. By doing that, in the point of sale screen, you will be able to accept those as methods of payment, even though you are processing your credit card to a terminal outside of the software. Can you process directly through the software? Of course you can, but that requires that you use our preferred provider. But you do not have to use our preferred provider to use the software, and you do not have to use our preferred provider to be able to track your credit card sales. Just make sure you have the credit cards that you accept put in there the way I just showed you. Next, let's focus on the appointment book. So there are 3 different types of appointment books in the software. There is what's called the day view screen. This is what we're talking about here. The day view screen is for a particular day, and it shows all of your staff that are working that day. We also have the week view screen. The week view shows today plus 2 weeks, and with my little plus sign here, I can add columns, so I can see up to 31 columns on a single screen. I can choose an individual employee, and I get to see their schedule for that length of time. This is just Debbie's schedule. I could choose someone like Leslie here. Now I'm looking at just Leslie's schedule. So we'll go back to Debbie, etc. Again, today plus 2 weeks. So that's the week view screen, up to 31 days. We also have something called the month view. The month view is a little bit different. In this class, I am simply making you aware of it. To learn how to use the month view screen, please attend the advanced class or give us a call or go to the live chat and say you'd like to learn about the month view screen. But we don't teach that in this beginner's class. So let's start with our day view. How do we get to the day view screen? We go to this button that says book and we left click. By left clicking, it brings up our day view screen. The week view screen, to go to that same button and right click, and that will bring up our week view screen. Now there's another way to get to the week view screen that we're going to see in just a moment, but first we're going to start with our day view. Click, here we are. Is this all of my employees? Not necessarily. Right now I'm just showing 10 columns, but I could say, for instance, add a column, add another, add another, add another, add another. Okay, now I've gotten to my rooms. So I do have, in fact, 14 employees working today, and then I've got my first room here because I've got 15 columns showing. So if I was looking at all 31 of my columns, I've got my employees, I've got rooms, I've got equipment, and I actually have a few other employees and equipment that are off there at the end. And by the way, you can put these in any order you want. Now let's go back to our standard here. So here I am, I'm showing 13 columns right now, and I am going to choose a customer in order to book an appointment. In order to choose a customer, I'm going to go to where it says client right here, and I am either going to left click, which will bring up my client selection window, or I am going to right click, which allows me to add a client brand new. So I'm going to left click, and then I can use these buttons. If I'm using like a touch screen and so I'm using my finger, I can use these buttons to press and then hit select. So if I wanted to look up Miss Babcock, I could hit B-A-B-C select, and there she is. I could also have clicked on client and typed it in if I was using a keyboard and mouse. B-A-B, enter. There's everyone whose last name starts with B-A-B, and there's Miss Babcock. She's there. She's ready to have the appointment booked. I can also right-click on this to add somebody brand new, and I'm going to add Carolyn Clay. And I'm not going to take any additional information, although I certainly can. I can even hit more and take a lot more information. But I'm going to say, no, I'm not. I'm just putting in her first and last name because I'm in a hurry here. So I've got her in the system now. The next time I ever wanted to pull her up, I could pull her up this way now. And everybody whose last name starts with C-L-A is going to appear. Now I've got a lot of them, so let's make it a little bit shorter. C-L-A-Y. And there's my Carolyn right there at the top. If I wanted it just to be her, I could do something like this. Clay, K-A, enter. Okay, now I've got her and Catherine. The more letters I put in, the shorter the list is going to be. Okay, so we've got Miss Clay in the system now. Now we're going to choose what group of services she would like an appointment in. So does she want a haircut? Does she want a massage? Does she want her nails done? Does she want a laser hair removal? I don't know what type of business you are, so we've got everything in here. And remember, when you set up your types, this is all user-defined. So you create your groups and you put the services within them. So I'm going to say that she would like a hair service. So I click on hair. And now I can choose from all of my different hair services, and I've got a lot of them. And I'm going to simply go with an anti-curl with blow dry, and I'm going to book that with Kathy at 12 o'clock. So under Kathy's name, in this column, I'm going to left click, and that will block out my time. Then I can right click anywhere within that box and choose what type of customer this is. If Miss Clay asked for Kathy, she's a request. So I'm going to say request. And now my appointment is booked. Now look how different this appointment looks from this appointment. This appointment, my Shiatsu 60 massage, this is what we call a single service. And what I mean by that is that in this case, the operator, Debbie in this case, is with Shelley for one single block of time. This one here is a double service. Kathy is seeing Carolyn, and then Carolyn is going to process, and then Kathy's going to come back and finish the job. So that's why there's this gap here in between. I could book another appointment with Kathy right smack dab in the middle of Miss Clay's appointment. Okay, so that's why that is there, and that's why this one here shows the same thing. These have processing times, and if you've ever been in a hair salon, you know you've got single processes, double processes, things like that. You've got your foils and tips, you've got your chemicals, all sorts of different reasons why you may have processing. So let's go through that process again. I'm going to left click this time, choose a customer, whoever they may be, choose my group, choose my service, choose my employee and the time, in this case 1 o'clock, left click and right click. The appointment is booked. That's what we call single-tiered booking. Now we're going to take a look at two-tiered booking. I'm going to choose a customer again. Go with somebody new here. We'll go with Barry. And this time I'm going to go with a massage. And I'm going to say that I would like a head 90. and I'm going to book that with Michelle at 11 o'clock. Left click to block out the time, right click to choose what type of customer they are, and this time it asks me what room is this being done in, and I'm going to choose my herbal room and accept. So Barry here is seeing Michelle in the herbal room. That's two-tiered booking because I'm not only booking my staff, I'm also booking a room. Let's try one more. We're going to do three-tiered booking this time. So I've got Valerie here, and I'm going to stick with massage, and this time I'm going to go with a Hot Stone 60. And I'm going to book that with Michelle at 1 o'clock. Left click to block out my time, right click to choose what type of customer it is, choose my room, choose with the Elixir room this time. This time it wants me to choose my equipment as well. I'll go with my black stones. Valerie Rogers is booked with Michelle in the Elixir room with the black stones, kind of like a game of Clue. That's three-tiered booking. And as you can see, we even have cleanup time attached to some of this. Do you have any questions on standard bookings?
No.
Carolyn, any questions? Okay. All right,
No,
moving
no
on.
question.
All right, the next thing that we're going to talk about then is rescheduling an appointment. So I've got my blow dry and curl here with Mike Pacella. Now, there's a couple of different ways I can do this reschedule. The simplest way, though, is just to check this box, this one right here that says reschedule. By doing that, what I've done is activated my drag and drop feature. So I can now grab his appointment by left-clicking anywhere in it and holding it down, and then bring it somewhere else and release it. So now the appointment's here. Left-click, drag it down, and there it is. Left-click, drag it down, and there we go. Left-click, bring it somewhere else. Really easy. Let's look a little bit lower down here. Left-click, drag it down to 4 o'clock, drag it down to 6 o'clock, etc. And then bring it up here, choose a new room, and we've booked with somebody new here with Maureen, or I can move it right back over to Christian. Really, really easy. Now also though, I could go into Christian's week view screen, right click, go to week view, because maybe Mike Pacella has said, you know what, I want to be able to book another day. Reschedule and move him to April 14th. Move him to Wednesday, April 19th at 2 o'clock. Move him to 1 o'clock on the 13th. 1 o'clock on the 12th, 12 o'clock today. So you can move them from one day to another very, very easily with that reschedule checked. Now remember, I told you there was more than one way to do it though. I can right-click on Shelley here and select reschedule. Now why might I do that? Well, maybe I'm rescheduling this appointment when she comes back from her summer vacation for 2 or 3 months from now. So going through my day view screen is not going to work. I could go one day at a time to find it, but that's a little silly too. But I could go to calendar perhaps, and I could go to June 6th, accept. And now here I am on Tuesday, June 6th, and dump it right in. Oh, this operator does not perform this service. Glad to know. Let's dump it with Anna. Choose my room, and the appointment is booked all the way out to June 6th. So right-click, reschedule, calendar, today, and dump it back in here. And the appointment is booked. So different ways to reschedule. If they're going to be rescheduling anytime within the next couple of weeks, I would say checking that box is the easiest way to go. But if they're going to be extended out further, much further than that, then maybe right-clicking on them and then going to calendar is the way to go. Either way. Any questions on rescheduling?
No.
All right. Then the next thing we're going to talk about is unbooking an appointment. Can't be any easier. You simply go to the appointment, right-click on it, and select unbook. That's it. Now, there's two different types of unbooks here. There's unbook and unbook all this day. Now, a lot of people are afraid of this button, and they wonder, why is it so close to this one? Gosh, if I hit this, I'm going to lose all my appointments today. Well, of course not. We would never do something like that. That's silly. Unbook means you're going to unbook this appointment. Unbook all this day means you're going to unbook this appointment and any other appointment that this client has today. So you're not unbooking all the appointments you have that day, just the appointments for that particular customer. So in other words, if they have multiple services with you scheduled today, maybe they got a package like a day of beauty or something like that, then by selecting unbook all this day on any of their appointments, all of the appointments that they have booked that day will be gone. Unbook simply means that the appointment that you are right-clicking on is the appointment that will be unbooked and no others, even if they have others for that day, because maybe they can't make that early one, but they can make the other ones later that day. Okay? All right, so we say unbook. Are you sure you want to unbook this appointment? Yes, and the appointment's gone. It's unbooked. Simple as pie. Any questions on that before we continue? All right, no questions?
No question.
All right, moving on. So we have talked about booking standard appointments. We have talked about rescheduling standard appointments and unbooking standard appointments. Now we're going to talk about standing appointments. A standing appointment is somebody who keeps coming back for the same service at the same time. So for instance, every Tuesday at 11 or every other Wednesday at 1 or something like that. So we're going to go to standing appointments. And then we're going to choose a customer. So I'll go with, let's go with Angela Fajardo here. And now I'm going to choose my operator. Who is it she'd like to see? I'm going to say she would like to see Debbie. What service would she like to get from Debbie? I'm going to say that she would like to get a, let's go with eyebrow tinting. And of course, we choose our request type, just like we do whenever we book an appointment. So she asked for Debbie, request. The service time is only 15 minutes. 15 minutes, that's too many options. Let's go with a full facial, hour and a half. That's better. Okay, so now I've got Angela Fajardo. She wants to see Debbie. She gets a full facial. It's an hour and a half long. She has asked for Debbie. When is going to be her first appointment scheduled? Well, I could do it for today, April 11th, 2017, Tuesday, or I could use my little plus and minus signs to add or subtract days, plus April 12th, plus April 13th, plus April 14th, minus April 13th, minus April 12th, minus April 11th. Or I could check my calendar button here and use my calendar to jump somewhere else. But no, I'm going to say today it is. And at what time does she want her appointment? Oh, I don't know. How about 2 o'clock? And how often is she going to come in? I'm going to say she's going to come in every 2 weeks. And the number of visits from 1 to 256. Please know that if I choose 256 and it's every 2 weeks, that is 10 years worth of appointments. So maybe that's a little much. Maybe I might go with something like a dozen appointments. So her last appointment will be September 12th of 2017. Now it's very important that I do the next step, which is show. If I hit show, I am looking for the time, but most importantly, the status. If the status says okay, that means the appointment can be booked. And look, all of these say okay except for the very first one. Why is that? Well, that's because Debbie's already booked during that time. As you can see, she has a 1 o'clock appointment that goes all the way to 2:45. And we want this appointment booked with her at 2 o'clock. Well, that's just not going to work, is it? That's what that status is telling you. Any of these days that might have X's on them, we need to make a change to. So I can highlight it. And then I can choose either an alternate operator if they would still like to come in at that time and they don't care that they're not going to see Debbie. Or I can stay with Debbie and choose a different time. So maybe I'll say, let's go with 3:30. So today it's going to be booked at 3:30. But in 2 weeks, it's going to be back at 2. And then 2 weeks after that, 2 again, etc. If I press the button that says book, this appointment will be booked automatically. All 12 of them will be booked. If I check this box that says auto standing and then I book, it will book these 12 out. And anytime she uses one of them, it will automatically book another one at the end so that she's always 12 appointments out forever. You don't have to book 256 appointments to go for the next 10 years. You could just hit auto standing, and that will add one to the end every time. So now that I've selected the number of appointments, I can go ahead and I'm going to take that off auto standing and hit book. Choose my room because the spatial requires a room. We'll go with the herbal room. All of the appointments have been booked. All 12 got booked just like that. So I went through a lot of steps there. So very, very quickly, standing appointments, choose my customer. Choose my operator. Choose my service. Choose my request type. What day they want to start their appointments. The time of day they'd like to start their appointments. How often they're going to come in. My number of visits. Show to make sure there's no X's, and then book. And the appointments are booked. Okay? That's how standing appointments are done. Any questions on that?
No.
All right. Okay, moving on. There's a lot more to the appointment book that we have not discussed. We didn't talk about appointment reminders and confirmations. We didn't talk about the fact that your employees can get instant notifications every time you make a change to their book, or that your clients could have received an instant notification when there was a change. When you right-click on it, you can change the length of the service. You can change what type of service it is. You could change the client. You can change colors. There's so many different things you can do here. Some of them you learn in the advanced class. Some of them you simply learn over time or by calling us or going to our live chat. But for our beginners class, we are now done with the appointment book. And we are now going to move on to the point of sale. And we do that a couple of different ways. I can go to the point of sale directly from my appointment book just by right-clicking on one of the appointments and selecting Checkout. It'll open my point of sale with that ticket filled in. There's Carolyn Clay. She saw Kathy for an anti-curl and blow dry for $150. Let's clear that and exit out altogether. And this time I'm going to go to Olivia here and check out. And now Olivia Ragon saw Christian, anti-curl and blow dry for $150, ready to go. Again, very simple, right from the appointment book. And of course, if they had multiple services, let's do it. We've got, let's go with Clay again. And let's choose a different service for her. We'll go with a massage this time, and we'll do a hot stone 60, and we'll book that with Abigail. Choose my room, choose my equipment, done. So let's go back and take a look. I could go to Miss Clay, either one of them. Now you've got 2 appointments. Right click, check out, both appointments are there. Real simple. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is from the main menu, click on Sales. This will take you to your sales register. Everybody who has an appointment scheduled with you today is going to be listed here. And they're going to be listed either in order of checkout or alphabetically. Mine is in order of checkout, which is why Carolyn is first, because she had the first appointment today. If it was in alphabetical order, obviously, you would see it in alphabetical order. This time, it's in order of checkout. So I click on Ms. Clay, and it fills in for me. Don't have to do it from the appointment book. Now I can go add additional services. Maybe while she was there, she was upsold. So service, she also saw Matthew, and she got a bang trim from Matthew. There we go. Now he's added. Maybe she'd like to buy some product. If I am using a barcode scanner, this field right here is already has the icon in it that's flashing. The cursor, I mean, not icon. It has the cursor in it flashing. You could scan your product right now, and it would simply add it, just like this. Say, Lizette sold it. Carolyn Clay was sold by Lizette, the Just an All-in-One shampoo, for $21. Puts in my local tax, and I'm ready to go. I could also perhaps throw a gratuity or tip on there. Click on gratuity, put in a dollar amount for Matthew and hit accept. Click on gratuity, put a dollar amount in for Kathy and hit accept. Click on gratuity, put a dollar amount in for Abigail and hit accept. Or I could say apply a percentage and let it distribute it and do the math for me. So by going with 15%, Abigail's going to get $9, Kathy's going to get $22.50, and Matthew's going to get $1.50. Now perhaps I'm ready to actually process my sale. So I go to payment. and I have cash as one of my methods. If I put a dollar amount in here over this amount, it will make my change. If I put a dollar amount in here under this amount, it will require another form of payment, like check or credit card or something like that. Click on check. This is personal check. Put in the check number and accept. Credit card. If you are processing directly through our software, it's going to look like this. We click this button, swipe the card or stick the card into the chip reader, and we get our authorization and our receipt prints. If you are not processing directly through the software, it's going to look like this, and you're simply going to choose what type of card it was. This way, you still have an accurate record, your drawer is accurate, your reporting is accurate, but you did your processing of the card outside of the software, no problem. This is a gift certificate or gift card. So you click here, and now you can type in a gift certificate number, or you can swipe a card. You cannot accept a card or a certificate as a method of payment unless you have sold that card or certificate through this software or online. Next, we have what are called series. Series are a series of the same service. So let's say that you do, French tips. And you say, you know what, I've got this client that comes in every 3 weeks for her new French tips, cleanup and French tips. Okay, well then by by selling her a series, let's say that the French tips is $25 and she comes in every couple of weeks. So you say, you know what, I'm going to sell you 10 of them at once. That would normally be $250 because they're $25 each. But maybe you say, if you buy 10 of them at once, I'll give it to you for $200. So they just saved themselves $50. They basically got 2 of them for free. So that is a series. They can buy a series of the same service. By doing so, series then becomes a method of payment. And if they own one, it will be here. So it might say something like French tip, 9 of 10 remaining, 8 of 10 remaining, 7 of 10 remaining. Every time they use one, it will reduce it until they've used them all. And then they can either buy another series or they can start purchasing individually. This one here is on account. On account generally means that your customer has already placed a deposit on file with you. So you have already taken some money from them. So they've made a deposit. Now they can pay against that deposit. So maybe they gave us $500. Okay, so on account, I'm taking $275.94 off of their on-account deposit. So they would be left with approximately $225 left on their gift certificate, $224.06 to be exact. Anyway, if this is the amount more than what was in their deposit was only $200, then you don't want to take the entire amount. You would only want to take $200 to wipe out their deposit, and then have them pay for the $75.94 with cash or check or credit card or gift certificate or something like that. If you were to accept the entire amount and it was more than what their deposit was, then they will owe you that money instead of you owing them now. They no longer have a deposit with you. Now they owe you money, okay? And it will show up on their client file when you pull them up in red, showing what they owe you. Every time they come into your point of sale, it'll show that they owe you $75.94 until they pay it down. Next, we have room number, room charge. This allows us to charge directly to the room if you are part of a hotel or resort and you are using our hotel interface. If you're not, don't worry about it. This one here, traveler's checks. Traveler's check simply means the exact same thing as personal checks, works the same way. The only difference is in your closing, it will differentiate between personal checks and traveler's checks. So you can see what you did that day that way. Other allows you to create your own methods of payment, whatever you want them to be. One of the ones that I've created is barter or trade. And so I might say that my electrician came in and did my wiring, and so you took care of his wife. You still want to have a record of it. You still want your staff to get their commission, but you're not taking in cash or check or credit card or something like that. okay? And then finally, we have rewards points. Rewards points, think of rewards points like airline miles. Your customers can earn points for giving you referrals, for buying services from you, for buying retail product from you. They can earn points. They can then turn around and use those points to get discounts or freebies. You're not going to really learn about the points program in this class. You'll learn more about it in the advanced class. And you can even take a rewards points class all by itself, and we have a rewards points or loyalty rewards membership video for you to watch as well. All right. So I've got my ticket. I go to payment. I'm going to accept cash, $275.94. She gives me two $100 bills, $200, and accept. She also gives me her credit card for the balance. And I'm going to say that she paid with MasterCard, $75.94, and accept. Now, if this was blue, this would create a receipt. If it is gray, it won't. And I hit accept and ask client if they'd like to book their next appointment. No. Done. My transaction has been processed. If I cared to, I could take a look at the history of that customer now. And I can see that on April 11th, she saw Abigail for a hot stone, she saw Kathy for an anti-curl, she saw Matthew for a bang trim, and Lizette sold her the Justin All-in-One shampoo. I can also highlight any of these and hit view transaction. And now I can see everything that happened on that transaction. The hot stone with Abigail, the anti-curl with Kathy, the bang trim with Matthew, the gratuities, $9 for Abigail, $22.50 for Kathy, $150 for Matthew, the sale of the product, Justin All-in-One shampoo by Lizette, my tax, how it was paid, cash, $200, and $75.94 on MasterCard. So my transaction is there, and everything having to do with it as well. Any questions on processing a standard sale?
No.
Okay. Now, there are a lot of things we haven't talked about here. We didn't talk about selling the series or the membership. We did not talk about selling a gift card or gift certificate. We didn't talk about transaction notes or adding pop-ups. We did not talk about duplicating a receipt that has already been printed and emailing it, or emailing a receipt that has already been printed. We have not, emailing a receipt that's already been printed or printing a receipt that's already been emailed, that's what I meant. Or creating a preprint receipt. There's all sorts of different things that we have not discussed. But for the purposes of our beginners class, we are done with this point of sale unless there was something you wanted me to cover before we move on to commissions.
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. So then what we're going to do is we're going to do just that. We're going to head over to commissions. So first things first, I want to set it up. I'm going to pull up a customer here. We'll go with Miss Babcock. And I'm going to say that she saw Christian, and she got a Brazilian blowout for $365. And she gets an automatic 5% off because she happens to be one of my gold members. I'm also going to say that Christian sold her product. So I'll say that it was Christian that sold this. I'm also going to say that Christian got a gratuity, and we'll say that it was 10%. And so he got $36.50 as his gratuity. So this customer owes me $405.05. It's all done by Christian. We'll go to payment. We'll just do it in cash because I don't care, and accept. Done. Now I'm going to go to my reports, and I'm going to go to sales, operator reports, commission reports, and I'm going to choose my commission sales analysis. This is based on a percentage commission. Carolyn, can you still hear my voice? All right, well, because you're going to get this as a recording anyway, I'm going to go ahead and continue. All right, so now I'm going to choose Christian. I could choose everybody or a group of people, but I'm going to choose Christian. And then I'm going to select accept. And I get to put in any date range I want. I'm going to choose today and view report and accept. This report is going to show me everything that he did for whatever that date range is. So I've got my commission sales analysis, all registers for the period of 4/11/17 to 4/11/17 for operator Christian. Michelle Babcock, Brazilian blowout, quantity 1, hour and 15 minutes, price is $365. Any discounts, the amount, commission, and my commission pay, $182.50. And then I have my products sold. And there's Michelle Babcock again. There's my transaction number. There's my Justin All-in-One Shampoo, my quantity, my price, any discounts, my amount, my commission, and my commission pay. And then, finally, my totals for products and services, and then my tips, and then my tips for commissions on products, services, and tips. I've got my total there. Carolyn, I know I lost you there for a moment or two. I went ahead and I just kept going because I am recording this, and I am going to email you the recording when this class is over. So I just figured I'd keep going and you could catch what you missed. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure. Okay, so, and of course, by the way, with this report, I can email this report out. I could export it to Excel if I wanted to, creates an Excel spreadsheet for me instantly. I don't need to do anything to make that happen other than press that button. I could print this report out, of course, all of these different things. This is one of many commission reports, and this particular report is based on a percentage commission. So how do we set those up? We do that by going to payroll. First thing I want to do is enter my employees. So I go to employees, add new. Now I've already added 9 employees. How do I know that? Because it wants me to add employee number 10. So I fill in this information. I can set my tax calculations as well if I care to. You do not have to process the payroll through the system, but you do want to set them up for commissions anyway. So once they are set up, I can go to my employees here, and then I can go to my commission schedules. This is one of my commission options. And in this option, I'm dealing with sliding scale. So I choose Add Modify Tables, and I can choose an employee like Ashley here, and say that from 0 to $250 in service sales, Ashley gets 20%. From $250 and a penny to $750, she gets 30%. $750 and a penny to $1,500, she gets 40%. And I can keep doing that up to 6 different levels. I can do the same thing for retail. From 0 to 100, I'm giving her 10%. From 100 and a penny to 250, I'm giving her 12%, etc. And I can do that for 6 different levels. Once I've set that up, I can also set up other types of commissions, like a standard percentage. So I can go to my service rates. So I go to employees, commission rates, service rates. I can choose an individual employee, like Christian here. And I can say for all services, Christian gets blah, whatever it is, 50%, 25%, 80%, whatever. Or I can choose an individual service and put a percentage in for him. For the bang trim, he gets 45% and accept. So I've said he gets 50% on everything. See, 50%, 50%. But if I did a bang trim, it would be 45%. So I've selected different percentages for him. It's totally up to you how you want to do that. Everyone can have their own unique structure, or you can have people who have the same structures as others. So once I've set up Christians, I could do something like this. I could choose Lynn. And then I could say, for instance, for all services, make that the same as Christian and accept. And now Lynn has just been made the same as Christian, so I don't have to redo all of hers if she has the same commission structure as he does. Then I could go to employees, commission rates, and instead of service rates, I can do a third one, dollar amounts. So instead of doing it by percentage, I'm doing it by dollar amount. And so I could do something like, for instance, a back facial, $65, and I'm going to give him $32.50. That's 50%. But I didn't say 50%, I said $32.50. Why? Because if I raise my price, that will not automatically give him, it will not automatically give him a raise. Instead, it will keep him at the 3250 forever until I change it manually and accept. So I can set up sliding scales. I can set up standard percentages or dollar amounts. And I can set up standard scales, standard rates for my product as well. I can choose categories and give it a percentage so that I don't have to do individual products. Doing it by categories is a lot easier because you might have 20 categories and 5,000 products. You'd be surprised what I've seen out there. It's crazy. Okay, that is setting up commissions. And unless you have any questions, that's the class. Do you have any questions for me at all? No questions? Okay, then I am going to, I already told you I would send you this recording, so I will do that very thing. I already have your email address, Ms. Clay. I'll get that out to you as quickly as I can. Have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for spending time with me. As I always tell everybody, the people who know the most about the software are the people that are happiest with it. So I appreciate the time that you spent today learning more about your software. Have a great day. Bye-bye.